Good morning, everybody. I'm Eureka John, and you are at Eureka Street Crypto, broadcasting live on float.app. That's flote.app. And it is Friday, October 29th, 2021. And I'm coming at you from Leander, Texas, just a suburb outside of Austin. Been living in Austin for a long time. Seen it change quite a bit. It's been interesting to watch all the glass structures erect themselves from in the downtown skyline. I remember back in 1994, I lived in Austin for a while, and I was born and raised in Houston. Then you know bounced around Houston for a while, then moved to New York City for school in 2001, 10 days before 9/11, and then moved to Austin permanently in about 2005. So yeah, 2005, and so I've been here ever since, and I love Austin. I don't see myself going anywhere. I consider myself an Austinite, and it's just one of those things. But yeah, I have seen the city change. When I was briefly in school in Austin in 1994, when I first decided to go to a community college with the hopes of getting into a 4-year institution, I ended up bouncing around like 5 community colleges before I actually got into a 4-year institution. But the first community college was Austin Community College, and I remember my professor was telling me, he was saying, there will never be any building. Our skyline will never look like Houston or Dallas. We are unique in that we, only allow buildings to be a certain altitude, and we have to taper the sides of buildings to make sure there's sunlight that gets down into the street, and there are a bunch of EPA requirements, and we need to make sure we have proper runoff, and we're built on the Balcones faults, I believe is whatnot. And there's Barton Springs, and we need to preserve all the natural wonder that we have around us. And so that's why it was confusing when I came back to Austin in 2005 and I saw them start to construct that one really tall glass building in the middle of downtown, and that there were some other buildings like the Frost Bank Tower was taller than the Capitol, because no building was allowed to be taller than the Capitol either. So yeah, it's like, wait a second, what's going on here? And I've seen Austin change quite a bit. It's been interesting to watch, and I don't live in Austin proper anymore. I moved out to Leander a year and a half ago, and out in the burbs, like finally growing up, getting to living that burb life. But it is a little easier when you're raising kids to live in the burbs rather than the inner city. That is for sure. There's more of a village around you to support you. I get it. Some people want to, raise their children in the middle of the city around, like, I don't know, just to kind of be a part of that. But you don't have the support system you do in the burbs. Anyway, why am I going on this tangent today? Let's talk about crypto, because that's why I'm here, and it's why I talk about this every single morning. I get up and talk about crypto. This is my video blog. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm not shilling anything, and it's not some kind of educational resource or teaching tool. This is my video blog documenting my crypto space. So let's get on to crypto. Bitcoin's at $60,789.40. I bought some Bitcoin yesterday, and Ethereum's at $4,298. I mean, I believe they both still. Ethereum's in all-time high territory, and so is Bitcoin. And yeah, I think they're going to continue going up. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, and a lot of people are really discovering cryptos, and not necessarily directly through crypto as crypto, but they're discovering crypto through NFTs and through DAOs, and institutions are getting involved. And I mean, freaking Matt Damon did a commercial for crypto yesterday. I saw it on Instagram. The celebrities and institutions are getting on board now, and yeah. It's pretty interesting to see. You're like, you're looking at me like I'm some kind of multi-level marketing guy, like. All right, so Binance Coin's at $493.59. Tether's $1. Cardano's $2. Solana's $195.87. XRP's $1.06. Polkadot's $42.10. The Doge and Shiba Inu, two dog coins, are right there neck and neck, which frankly I absolutely do not love. I found a really good tweet on this, and about this is kind of like why I'm in crypto, and this kind of sums it up here. It's superfizz.eth. I don't know who he is or whatever, but it sums it up. Broke, gambling on every new fad coin, and that includes doggy coins. Woke, recognizing that the future will be built on Ethereum, and I would add in Web 3.0. And then enlightened, giving a few hours a day to add to the ethosphere for others. Build, help, answer, guide, welcome, share. And that's what I try to do with this show. I try to help guide others through so people can watch my mistakes. I mean, literally, if I can do this, I can do this. I have zero financial education. My programming and web development background is very skinny. But if I can do this, you can do this. I'm creating content to try to explain to people and to myself what all this stuff is. Give a few hours a day to add value to this whole space. Build, help, answer, guide, welcome people, share. There's a job for everybody, and that's kind of what's going on with DAOs right now as well. Speaking of DAOs made it on this Intelligencer. They've been in, I guess it's in the New Yorker, or I don't know. I don't know, man. But yeah, it's been making it on a lot of large publications. Here we have CNBC talking about DAOs. We have large VCs and stuff jumping in and contributing and investing in DAOs. For instance, who was it that just recently here? Let's go up here, and they're talking about friends with benefits. Andreessen Horowitz has invested $5 million in a group chat in September. The trend-setting VC firm Pace Capital, Kindred Ventures, Spark Capital, and the 31-year-old New York Times appointed it girl in venture capital Li Jin, putting in a total of $10 million into Friends with Benefits, which describes itself as the ultimate cultural membership powered by a community of our favorite Web3 artists, operators, and thinkers bound together by shared values and shared incentives. While it may be that in practice it's mostly a chat room on the app Discord, populated by around 1,500 crypto enthusiasts, artists, NFT collectors, and various hangers-on, sure, by the standards of venture capital, $10 million is not a large sum, but how much money has your friends group chat raised so far? And that is a very valid point. So hold on, let me check something here real quick. Okay, just making sure that the stream was going okay and that it looked okay. Anyway, so admittedly, Friends with Benefits, which was co-founded by Trevor McFedries, the former DJ who created the infamous CGI influencer Lil Miquela. I don't even know who that is. But whatever. I'm 45, so why would I know that? It said it's something more than a group chat. It's also a DAO, or decentralized autonomous organization. Decentralized, as in it has no executive leadership. Autonomous, as in self-governing. An organization, well, that's the group part of the group chat. At their simplest, DAOs are blockchain-based co-ops with software constitutions, and in the last few weeks, they've overtaken the imagination of crypto-futurist visionaries and feverish speculators who turned NFTs into multi-billion-dollar market over the course of the pandemic, plus a bunch of eager, hopeful artists, marketers, and programmers. And I've been getting involved in DAOs. I got involved in the Bankless DAO, and it's proved to be amazing and fun. I've learned so much. I've made friends in there. I've been part of the AV Guild and building up my skills as a podcaster, a broadcaster. I'm getting tips from professionals who otherwise would never give me the time of day. Real true sound engineers, real true journalists and broadcasters, and people who are in this space and have worked in this space and have careers in this space are advising me on how to do things, even as far as like how to interview people with the right software to use, good tips and strategies for marketing this stuff. I mean, there's so many amazing things I'm learning by being a part of these DAOs, and it's like crypto and the whole DAO concept of it have broken down the barriers that would normally prevent me from being able to interact with these types of people to learn from them. And yes, I come into DAOs not as somebody who wants to suck the value out of the DAOs, but I want to contribute to the DAOs. So I start with simple things like I can do. You stand in a corner and you listen in, and you're there enough. And like half the part of a job is just showing up. Like if you just show up, and especially in this labor environment right now where we're being paid to sit on our butts, if you just show up, then the job is half done. So if you know what is going on, then you can start directing other incoming people who may have more skills than you, but they don't know what's going on. And you can start acting as a concierge. You can start acting as a triage. You can start directing people where to go. And that is a job in itself, even if you just know what's going on. So you can go to a DAO and immediately get involved, even if the skill sets that they're talking about are way out of your league. If they're talking about some super technical stuff, like I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about they joined the GitHub DAO and they didn't know any code. And GitHub is a repository for code for developers. But they're joining the DAO and they don't know anything about it, but then they started hanging around and listening into meetings. And then, whenever you are around someplace for long enough, you will start to see the dirty spots where you can pick up that mop and you can start scrubbing, and but you can make yourself useful. And that's kind of what I did. And I was in there and I just like, what? I know how to record some meetings, and they need that. So, so I just started recording some meetings. And then next thing I know, I'm here with a well-known podcast, helping to do sound editing, being taught how to sound edit and to do audio engineering by an extremely professional, amazing audio engineer, who's sharing with me out of the goodness of his heart, and to be able to help promote, to contribute to the DAO and his enthusiasm for all this crypto and Web3 technology. He's sharing with me his trade secrets that he has spent his entire career building up. And I'm getting to be the benefit of this shared knowledge now. And I'm applying those things to my podcast now, and to my broadcast now, and to other projects that I'm working on as well. And it's giving me a skill set just by virtue of having joined the DAO and wanting to be a contributor. So it's not necessarily what I can extract from the DAO. It's how you can give back, and then the reward will be 10 times greater. And I hear preachers a lot of times say this in church when you give to the tithe and stuff like that. And there is a kernel of truth to that. And that's what, a lot of people have twisted it. And there are a lot of pastors and preachers who have taken advantage of that as well, trying to raise money and extract from the people in order to build some big useless church building. But there is truth to whenever you give, you will get back tenfold. But there's a hitch. You shouldn't give for the purpose of getting back. You should give for the purpose of contributing to the community as a whole. And then as a whole, as the tide rises, so do all the ships, right? And that's how the DAOs are supposed to work, in a horizontal, not top-down way in which everybody learns and contributes from each other. Anyway, so let's continue. To the true believers, DAOs are the institutional building blocks of Web3, the blockchain-grounded, decentralized utopia promoted as the future of the internet by a group of savvy investors, artists, and futurists and developers. Web3 is owned by the builders and users, orchestrated with tokens, and combines the decentralized community-governed ethos of Web1 with the advanced modern functionality of Web2, as a widely circulated Twitter thread by Chris Dixon, the Andreessen Horowitz partner who led... Oh, yeah, so that was the quote. So, sorry. Owned by the builders and users, orchestrated with tokens, and combines the decentralized community-governed ethos of Web 1 with the advanced modern functionality of Web 2. So, yeah, Web 1 is just your splash page. It's your about me, who we are, here's a couple pictures, blah, 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 here's our address. Web 2 is the whole interactive functionality with websites like eBay, Amazon, Facebook, MySpace, where you contribute content and then it puts it back up. However, all that content is owned and put up in the databases and sucked and sold all that information to other companies by large centralized corporations. Andreessen Horowitz, the partner who led the investment Friends with Benefits, puts it. That's how he put it. In this vision, a corporate-controlled data siphoning social network like Facebook could be replaced by a quasi-democratic DAO, in which new features and products would be debated and voted on by user owners, with decisions and regulations transparently enforced by contracts encoded on the blockchain. And unlike with Facebook, user owners who wanted to quit could easily sell their stake in the DAO on the blockchain, pocketing any profit. That's one story, at least, to detractors. Web3 is, at best, a colossal waste of energy. That's the critics. Literally, and at worst, a pyramid scheme, a vast, distributed, utterly transparent scam bent on suckering the greedy and naive with promises of wealth and transformation. And believe me, I have heard that criticism as well about, all the pyramid scheme stuff. You know what? There's a difference between a pyramid scheme, and there's a lot of secrecy in pyramid schemes from the top down. Not so in DAOs. And it was on Bankless. Somebody made a distinction between a Ponzi scheme and a Ponzi game. A Ponzi game utilizes Metcalfe's law, network effects, and things like that. And there's absolutely zero wrong with utilizing network effects in order to grow something. A scheme is whenever there's no transparency. Blockchain is the epitome of transparency. If something is on the blockchain, it is available on Etherscan or whatever blockchain explorer you're using for everybody to see all transactions. There is no secret transactions in there. Everybody sees what's going on. So that's what differentiates it from a scheme to a game. So yes, there is some gaming going on in DAOs. It's, there is game theory. If you really buy into it, though, you're steeped in the ultra positive, hyper utopian, get rich quick culture of Web3 as it flourishes across Twitter and Discord. You're not just looking to change the web, since the future of privacy, finance, art, that's all nice. But DAO evangelist Tracheopteryx recently told CoinDesk, DAOs are a bet on the future of human organization itself. Yeah, with the help of some code in order to act as the intermediary. Code is law, right? And your code cannot be changed because code is math. And yeah. But what actually is a decentralized autonomous organization? Described by breathless fans, DAOs can... breathless. I'm so excited about it. I just can't. That's what breathless fans means, I guess. DAOs can suggest a kind of group or corporate intelligence, a hive mind distributed across the blockchain. This ambitious, almost otherworldly conception of DAOs and their potential evokes the Scottish sci-fi writer Charles Stross's book Accelerando. And I've never read this, but I thought I highlighted this because it sounds like a really good book. I want to read it now. But he says, in which the spacefaring humans at the edge of the solar system encounter an abandoned mega-computer populated by semi-sentient scavenger corporations that attempt to use new arrivals as currency. The humans escape with the assistance of an alien slug that turns out to be a pyramid scheme, trying to hide from its creditors by masquerading as a life form. So, alas, so far no DAOs have managed to instantiate themselves as slugs. Whether their pyramid schemes trying to hide out remains an open question. For now, they tend to resemble an odd mash of more familiar legal, financial, and social forms. A running self-deprecating joke among enthusiasts hold that a DAO is just a group chat with a bank account, which for practical purposes is about right. But it's also a little bit joint stock corporation, a little bit cryptocurrency, a little bit gamer clan, a little bit message board, a little bit multi-level marketing scheme. And then the basic structure of a DAO revolves around a crypto token tracked on the blockchain that serves as the measure of an individual's stake in the group. In most DAOs, tokens reward participation, guarantee voting rights, and importantly are tradable, which means they can accumulate value. As a concrete example, take Friends with Benefits and its token FWB. There are 1 million FWB tokens on the blockchain, some portions of which are circulating on the open market at any point. To join Friends of Benefits, you can buy the FWB token with Ether or another cryptocurrency. As with any other crypto, these tokens can ultimately be sold onto any willing buyers. Around a third of the million FWB tokens is at the moment retained in a community treasury to be distributed according to the wishes of the DAO, with a set number dispersed every few months to members based on contributions like providing liquidity or serving on communities. People who own at least 75 FWB tokens can propose resolutions and binding elections where each token is equivalent to one vote. The $10 million VC investment in Friends with Benefits, in exchange of tokens from the Treasury to the USDC, a dollar equivalent crypto stablecoin, was put through such a process, passing with 98.07% of the vote. Theoretically, the point of this structure is to encourage members to work for and promote the organization without needing executives or administrators. So this was voted on by the FWB token holders. Or even for that matter, knowing who your collaborators are, because each token represents a financial stake in the DAO. All members are incentivized to both increase their token holdings by doing beneficial work for the organization and to drive up the value of their own holdings. So is this really a pyramid scheme, or is this kind of a pool of talent trying to help basically rise the tide? Let's take a quick look at this Friends of Benefits website. Here's a website. It's a pretty snazzy little website about Friends of Benefits is the ultimate cultural membership powered by a community of our favorite Web3 artists, operators, thinkers bound together by shared values and shared incentives. To join FWB, you must hold the FWB cryptocurrency tokens. This means that everyone in the community is literally invested in the community's success and gets to participate in the upside of the value we create together. I mean, this is literally a bunch of artists and Web3 operators and people who believe in the whole crypto space and Web3 as it is, and I do, all locking arms together and saying we are going to do this. We are going to help promote this space and help promote this idea, this whole democratization and this horizontal structure of organizations called DAOs. And yeah, we're going to do it. And that's kind of, I mean, I like it. This is what I believe in right now, and what I'm about is this whole Web3 ideology. Could it go wrong? It could, but so far it's trying to change the current status quo of these top-down hierarchical corporations that are just extracting value from society as a whole and not necessarily giving back. So yeah, it basically starts as a Discord server, and I've also realized the value of Discord servers. For instance, I post in here, I'm a member of the DAOists, and I posted, if you saw my episode a couple days ago, I was talking about this article right here, Stop Burning Tokens, Buy Back and Make Instead. And I was talking about payment, and then when people are paid in the DAO's token, when they sell that, because they have to, pay their bills, and especially if they're full-time DAO people, they have to pay their bills. So whenever they're doing work in the DAO and they get paid in that DAO token, they have to pay their bills. So I'm part of this DAOist, and DAOist is all about how to DAO, and they want to create a DAO resource a repository for people who want to start DAOs, and this is where they can find all the information they need to start their own DAO. And they're trying to create a place where all that will be in one location. So anyway, a couple days ago, I did this show and I read this article, Stop Burning Tokens, Buy Back and Make Instead. And here I said, I posted this earlier in voice chat as Eric and Mac and I were joking about not wanting to spend the DAO tokens we earn from working in DAOs. And I said, however, this is actually a real concern a lot of people have who work full-time in DAOs and or pay their bills from the income the DAOs generate for them. It's a catch-22. You need money to live, but you don't want to sell your DAO token and contribute to the devaluation of it. Right. I posted before, actually, I see this being an issue for DAOs. I heard someone on a podcast talking about it, but this could be a limiting factor for people working full-time DAO who are paid in the DAO token. How does a DAO fund themselves and keep liquidity without tapping into their own into their token supply? I think Olympus DAO and Dodo have been both trying to approach this topic. Also, what if a DAO were to create some kind of internal lending protocol to lock up their tokens for stablecoins? I'm just brainstorming. And I said, would be cool to have this as a topic for study. And I said, I've been digging around the web for examples or other takes on this topic, and I can't find much. And I can't really find a whole lot, because this is such a bleeding edge topic right now. I mean, DAOs in general, even mainstream reporters and journalists are trying to wrap their heads around it to even talk coherently about it, but much less the whole issue about payment in DAOs, so it's hard to find information on it. And I said, but I did find this blog entry, although not specifically related to my question. Also, this whole VC blog has some really good posts about DAOs. Maybe worth a gander, possibly implement a buyback and make model with balancer-style automatic buyback machine, token issuance pool, and smart treasury as liquidity provider. So anyway, I linked this article right here. Where is it? There's a bunch. Okay, here it is, right here. Stop burning tokens and make buyback instead. I'll link it again in the video description. But I read this in this article in its entirety the other day, and it's basically outlined this whole cycle of how DAOs can buy back their tokens, and then regenerate them, without diluting the value, diminishing the value of the token. I'm not going to read it again. You can go back a few days ago to that episode. But somebody here posted and responded back in Rotorless. He's a fellow member of the DAOists, and also a fellow member of the Bankless DAO as well. So this is the type of feedback that I like, and this is what I'm trying to figure out here. But he said, thanks for sharing. One of the problems we face in crypto and elsewhere is persuasive writing substituted for journalism or balanced investigation. And that was kind of a stab at placeholder.vc. It is a VC. All this, I don't think that they're necessarily trying to sell anything to us on this. I think this is a blog. Yeah. And yes, they may be partial. I don't know if it's necessarily trying to be journalism or balanced investigation. It is a VC, but it's a good perspective. And I'll read the rest of this, but I will say in advance, Rotorless offers some really good points and something to draw comparisons with and to make his point with. However, he doesn't offer any solution. So if you're going to make a point, I would ask that you also provide some kind of alternative solution. Because so far, right now, one of the only positive solutions or even stabs at some kind of solution that I've found is right here coming from this VC. And whether or not you like VCs or placeholder VCs should not come into question. And I don't know if that's this person's motive or not. But, he says, one of the problems we face in crypto and elsewhere is persuasive writing substituted for journalism or balanced investigation. So this article contains both dubious economic theory conflated with typical market results not associated with the theory. Okay, that's fair. And I don't know enough about, market results and stuff like that and economic theory, honestly, to be able to argue back with them. So, so I'm learning through all this, but this is good stuff to think about. So although the ideas are interesting, unfortunately, as founders, designers, we should question everything. True. For example, the article assumes rational market theory is true. That is, a buyer will seek the lowest price. So it assumes that market theory that the buyer will seek the lowest price is true. Does this article assume that? Okay. Ask the 4% asset and fund managers in the universe that actually make money, and they will tell you economic theory. They will tell you economic theory, and it's different from real outcomes. Okay, so theory is different from the practical outcome. There are many, many examples of rational market participants that do not demand the lowest price. Okay, there are some examples. Plane tickets are one example. When you buy a plane ticket, it asks you to voluntarily pay more for a carbon offset. Nothing new, and millions of dollars are collected each year. Although I have to make 3 connections, I will choose one airline instead of 3 different combinations for the cheapest price. We all do this. So much for the rational market participants seeking the lowest price. It's about risk and opportunity cost. The next thing in this article is that it's theoretical that share buybacks increase share price. If you are an investor or trader, you will know that the value of the underlying company and the number of shares has little to do with the market price. Okay. Consequently, there are many worthless companies commanding high prices and many great companies with low share price. True. To be brief, the decision to unload 1 million shares of a company does not occur in an instant, or because the number of shares outstanding. In a rebalancing or rotation of risk in a portfolio, it gets dumped over weeks or months from a prior management decision. Okay, so where am I going? Basically, just to be cautious about assertions about theory that do not in practice produce the theoretical results as we make our way through hand puppet articles. Have a nice weekend. It's valid criticism, and I appreciate that criticism. Is this article a hand puppet article? I don't know. I mean, it was useful information for me to learn about a lot of this stuff, and about some of these mechanics. And it's proposing a solution, and that's better than I've seen anybody else do, including this commenter here. But he does bring up some really valid points, and this is also adding to my education on all this stuff. So truly appreciated, and I'm going to continue on keeping on and trying to poke at this subject till I can find some kind of solution for the whole idea of using the income that you get, the token that you get from the DAO as payment, and then having to live off a DAO. So this is why I don't live. It's why I'm not working 100% for DAOs at this point, and I don't plan on any time in this immediate future here. So because I don't want to spend my DAO tokens, I don't want to spend the tokens and the crypto that I earn for dollars. And not one, because I don't want to deflate the currency, and two, because I want to hold, because I want those tokens to grow in value. So maybe in the future I can have 10 times that amount if the whole DAO that I'm working with grows in value. And the DAOs that I am working with right now, I do believe will be growing significantly in value. So why would I want to sell those tokens now? So anyway, whole point being, this is why I'm in it, to hear this type of different perspectives and criticisms. And this is awesome. All right. Anyway, so I had to try to rush through this episode because I got hung up on some audio stuff before this, waiting for a file to export, and my computer was slugging on me, and I was like, oh crap, I gotta get online and stuff like that. So oh man. All right. Okay, so let's see where we are here. I gotta go. I gotta get on the road. It's Friday. I gotta get to work and finish out this week. I'll be on tomorrow, and I want to look deeper at Friends with Benefits DAO and see what's going on there. I just showed you the website real quick, but yeah, I want to dig in a little bit and see more details on like Andreessen Horowitz dropping all that money in there as well. And so. Okay, I will talk to you guys tomorrow, and hit me up in the DMs. Give me a thumbs up and stuff if you like, if you'll help the algorithm on YouTube and Odyssey and all that stuff. All right, I will talk to you tomorrow. Later.